Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Leading Expert Interviews TV. My name is Ryan Hendricks, and thanks so much for joining us today. Today, we're going to be discussing a very important topic, and that is how to find a great cosmetic dentist, particularly online. And fortunately, joining us today from Atlanta, Georgia, is Dr. George Andrews. Dr. Andrews, thanks for joining us today.
Ryan, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. So, Dr. Andrews, we know there's plenty of people that search online every day for a great cosmetic dentist, but I guess the big question a lot of people have is, what should they be looking for when trying to find that great cosmetic dentist online? Maybe if you could help our viewers with, say, the top 3 things you would recommend that they be paying attention to or looking for when trying to find that great cosmetic dentist online.
Yeah, sure. Well, one of the things that consumers need to understand is that not all dentists have the proper training to provide the best available cosmetic dental care. Dental school provides good basic training, but it's really up to the individual dentist to seek out and attain the education and experience to master cosmetic dental skills. As a dentist, I believe joining and being active in one of the handful of nationally recognized cosmetic dental study clubs or associations is probably the best way to obtain this education, and it gives one credibility in the field. So I believe consumers should look for a dentist that's active in one of these cosmetic dental associations, and then take a look at some of their before and after pictures, maybe online on their website. This should give you some comfort level that they have the necessary skills. And then finally, take a look at some of the online reviews for the dentist and see what other people have to say about their experience or their outcome at that office.
Well, Dr. Andrews, I think that's some great advice. Certainly, you want to be working with or looking for a dentist that has plenty of experience. But I guess the other thing you mentioned that I like is the mentioning of reputation, reviews, testimonials, that kind of thing. I guess in today's society, it's pretty easy for us to say nice things about ourselves, but it sure is telling when you have happy patients going online writing nice things about you and their experiences. I think that's very telling. Now, I guess if somebody happened to be in the Atlanta, Georgia area, they were looking for a great cosmetic dentist, they came into your practice, what type of an experience could they expect to have?
Well, I've been in practice for over 20 years, and I own and operate a dental practice that's been in continuous operation for over 60 years. I'm the 3rd dentist to own the practice, so we've had a long, stable history in the community providing care, and I'm very proud of that. We have a modern office that's designed to be relaxing and welcoming, and my staff averages more than 10 years with me, each of them, and they're well trained and they're well informed. So our philosophy has always been very patient-centered. We want to establish relationships with our patients, and that helps us provide excellent and appropriate dental care. And I think the key is appropriate, because what's appropriate for one may not be for another, depending on their personal circumstances. So this is a low-volume practice. We spend time when needed with our patients. There's no rushing through appointments. And for example, all patients that come to me for the first time, my new patients, they come and they spend their appointment with me, and I end up spending maybe an hour to an hour and a half with them, whatever's really needed. Cosmetic dentistry requires a lot of planning time, and it's up to the dentist to really get a clear understanding of the desires and hopes from the patient. And that communication can be challenging, and it's up to the dentist to take the time to really understand the patient. And then, in turn, for the dentist to take the time to help the patient understand the service that's going to be delivered. Much of the results can be subjective, and so therefore it's prone to different interpretations.
Well, Dr. Andrews, it sounds like you do everything you can in your practice to make people feel warm and welcomed and spend that one-on-one individual time with them. And it sounds like that's very important, especially when it comes to cosmetic dentistry. So I think that's unique and important. Now, with your over 20 years of experience in cosmetic dentistry, how would you say that your practice maybe differs, or what maybe sets it apart or makes it unique from others in the marketplace?
Well, as I mentioned, I believe seeking the proper training and education is vital. I'm a member of the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, and in addition to just being a member, I've taken and passed the written exam, which demonstrates foundational knowledge in cosmetic dentistry. In fact, one of the skills that I learned is that I use often is providing patients with what I call a trial smile, which really helps them see the proposed cosmetic dental treatment. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. I recently had a patient who had some gaps between her teeth, and her teeth were worn down, and she had uneven edges on her front teeth, and she knew she wanted to make some improvements, but she wasn't really clear on some of the things that I was trying to verbally describe to her. So for someone in that situation, committing to treatment is like stepping off a cliff. So after 2 appointments and some planning on my part, I was able to do what I call a trial smile on her teeth. And this helps patients visualize in their mouth what the final outcome could look like. It takes about 30 minutes to do, and it's done without making any changes to the teeth. And the intention is for this to last for that appointment time, or maybe perhaps part of a day for them to show someone else if they want to. But the trial smile is completely reversible and it's removable. And really, there's no commitment. In my practice, this has been a game changer. Patients want the results to look natural, not like chiclets. And this really gives them an opportunity and some comfort level to see what the results might look like before they're actually done.
Well, Dr. Andrews, I think that is a bit of a game changer. I guess people want to see what the results are going to be maybe before the work is actually done. So with a trial smile, they can actually see what it's going to look like instead of having to imagine or try and envision in their own head what it's going to look like. So I think that's a big deal. Now, I know you mentioned something else to me that was this kind of unique, kind of stood out to me. You'd mentioned that with your new patients, you spend a fair bit of time with them. Could you maybe tell us a little bit more, maybe explain that in greater detail?
Yeah, sure, Ryan. Most dental offices schedule new patients with a dental hygienist first, and they get their teeth cleaned, and then the dentist might come in at the end of the appointment and maybe spend 10 minutes or so doing an exam. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll often spend an hour or up to an hour and a half with the patients, and it's funny. Sometimes people ask me, well, why would it take so long? But when we get together and we really start talking about their teeth, they realize that there's so much more to just checking for cavities or maybe planning a tooth whitening procedure. Most people end up really appreciating that opportunity to have that one-on-one time with me. And once they've experienced it, it really makes sense to really take that amount of time. I think it's a disservice to do for patients otherwise. I couldn't possibly learn enough about patients in a 10-minute exam to really address their concerns. It'd be likely that in that situation, I alone would be deciding on their treatment without really having an opportunity to take their concerns into consideration.
Well, I know, Dr. Andrews, that I could personally appreciate not feeling like I'm rushed through a process. So I think that being able to spend that one-on-one time with someone, I think, is important. So I think patients can probably appreciate that. Now, I guess if someone happens to be in the Atlanta, Georgia area, they wanted to get in touch with you to maybe discuss cosmetic dentistry, maybe speak with you about the trial smile maybe that you had mentioned, what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, they should definitely give us a telephone call. Our phone number is 404-237-9944, and we'd be happy to answer any questions or schedule an appointment time.
That's great. Well, Dr. Andrews, we do want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today, provide some great information for our viewers. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Well, there you have it, viewers. Take the great advice of Dr. Andrews when looking for a great cosmetic dentist, particularly online. And of course, if you happen to be in the Atlanta, Georgia area, certainly look up Dr. Andrews for all your dental needs. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next segment of Leading Extra Interviews TV.